Hey guys, welcome to the RAMZPAUL show. It is so good to be here with you guys. It is Friday, December 20th, and we got a lot of news to talk about. We're coming up to the end of the year, only 5 days to Christmas. A lot of stuff going on, and we'll discuss that. But thank you for being here. Yeah, it's good to see Marcus. Good to see you in the chat. And Marcus is always there. Magnum Opus and others there. So it's great to see you guys. And Friday is kind of more a relaxed day where we do, if you want to call in and ask a question, I have put a link in both the chats. Feel free to call in. The camera won't be on. You can just say whatever you want. Use an anonymous name. And, it's just kind of a little bit more informal on Fridays. A lot of stuff is happening, and I just want to go over this real briefly. I decided to make some changes going into 2025. I think it's going to be positive. And I put a note out, and you can read it. It's on my Substack. I put it on Gumroad group app and my Twitter's or X subscribers. And there's a couple of changes. The first change has to do with more administrative stuff. And I really appreciate you guys that support me offline. It used to be Patreon. And then when that ended, I kind of split the platform up between Gumroad and group app. And then lately Substack, and then X has a subscriber feature. And Gumroad, I've been having issues with lately where I sent out a link. One of the things we do is if you're a subscriber, we have a roundtable every week. It's really great. It's kind of a community thing, and I think it's worth it just for that. Join, get around a virtual table, and we talk, and a lot of friendships from that group. But a lot of times I'd post the link on Gumroad, and it wouldn't send an email out until like a day later or something. And it's just real clunky. I don't think it's, I've had a lot of issues with bugs with group app and not group app. I'm sorry, Gumroad. Group app is just a smaller thing. I have maybe 30 people on there. It's okay, but it's limited functionality. Group app was really set up for like training and stuff. So I'm kind of using it for a different purpose. And then my Twitter subscribers, I think I have like 9. So I really started to go to Substack because I like to write an essay every day. I guess Z-Man has inspired me. He does it every day. And I like to write. I like to write a column every day too. It's kind of fun, get up and do that. So I started to do that on Substack. Most I make public, but a few I will make for members only. And I was getting real frustrated because my friend Dave, who lives in Fort Smith, he said, yeah, I finally got notice of your roundtable a day after. And it was frustrating. I apologize for that guys. And so I was looking for a new tool that does the same thing. Plus I wanted to consolidate everything because I have like group app, and then I have Gumroad, then X and Substack, all these different things. And then I thought, I just need to consolidate on one platform that is ready for prime time, that has a reputation of being good, no bugs. And so I decided on Substack. Substack is, I think it depends how you do the metrics, but there's more people subscribed on something on Substack than even Patreon. And Substack has everything I need. So if I have videos, I have a feature, all my YouTube videos automatically go to Substack now. And I can link private links. So when we have our roundtable on Substack, and if I write private articles, I can just put it on Substack, for members only. Or if I have member only videos, I can post a link, and I know the information is going to get out there. And I was just looking at Substack today. I never looked at it that closely, but it has a lot of pretty cool features. It has a chat setup that you can do in Substack. And so it looks pretty cool. And you can either join for free on Substack, might as well do that if nothing else. And you'll get my daily columns. But if you want to support me, and I really appreciate it, and join our roundtable or watch the roundtables, even if you don't join, you can watch them and some private videos. Just subscribe to me on Substack. I really do appreciate that. And so that's the direction I'm going to be going forward. And so if you look at the description of my video, it shows you where to, it's no longer shows Gumroad or Group App. I'm just going to put what Substack to go to. Is a link there that you can click on and subscribe to me. And I'm going to transition over time. So if you're on Group App or Gumroad now, don't worry, I'm not going to drop it. In fact, I'm going to keep them out there. You know, there's no reason for me to drop it anytime quick at all. But I'm still going to update those platforms until the end of January. So it's not like a rush. But by the end of January, I want to just do all my updates on Substack. So that's going to be my platform of choice. I think it's a little bit more robust. It really fits the function more because I create videos and articles. That's more for Substack. And again, Group App was more for sales. And I think Gumroad was a little bit too. So I'm excited about that change. You know, always nervous making a change. But when I got off Patreon, I had to make a change real quick. And you guys supported me. So I really do appreciate that. And I got some content changes. And I'll just show them to you real quick. And then we're going to get into the news. But I wanted to kind of cover this real quick. Here we go. Content changes. The RAMZPAUL show, which I'm doing now, I want to make a couple changes. I thought doing it every day didn't really add much because some days, especially Tuesdays and Thursdays, were real slow. There's nothing much in the news. And I wanted to also have a show during the day because some people, they like the day show and, you know, around lunch in America, but also Europeans or in Australia, that's the time zone difference. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do the RAMZPAUL show, which is going to be focused on the current events, the news. We're going to talk about it like we always have. And that will be done Mondays, every Monday at 11 a.m. Central. And then every Friday, this time slot, we're going to end the week more casual. You can call in, have a glass of wine, a couple beers, and we'll discuss the news. And if you want to call in for a topic, I appreciate that. So the RAMZPAUL show will be Monday morning and Friday evening. And we'll, you know, that way we kind of build up the news. Wednesday is Happy Homelands. I'm so excited to have Happy Homelands back. That was my first ever streaming. Me and Tina Veek, we set that up, had a lot of fun. And then I had Sticks on, and then Sasha pinched in and helped me out with that. She did a great job. And now currently we have Alicia, and Alicia's excited to do it. I just talked to her today. She's buying a new mic, and she's kind of new to this, but I think she'll be fine. So, and we're going to, I think, get some guests and stuff like that. And it's going to be a little bit different, not just pure news, but we're going to talk about topics. And it should be a lot of fun. We're going to do that Wednesdays at 8 p.m. So definitely check out that. And then a roundtable, I used to do kind of changing the dates on the roundtable. I did like Friday nights and Sundays. But what we're going to do now, we're going to do roundtables on Tuesdays, either Tuesday at 7 p.m. or we're going to alternate the weeks. And the next week will be Tuesday at, I think I said, noon. And that way, the people, Tuesday at noon, people in Europe have easier time getting on it. And some people, if you're off during the day or during lunch, you can jump on. And then the other week we'll do in the evening at 7 p.m. And I think that's a good compromise, so we get everyone on. And I love my roundtables. A lot of people say they really love them. It's a way to have a community. So I'm definitely keeping that. Short videos, I'm going to do short videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I just released one yesterday about the Revolutionary War and the Boston Massacre. I love history. I may do more of those videos. I got a pretty good feedback on that. And some videos will just be members only. But, short videos, that's kind of how I got started with RAMZPAUL anyway. So I want to keep that going. And then my morning column or essay, I'm going to do that Monday through Friday. Night Owls is like my favorite stream. I do it with Sasha. It's a totally different type of stream. We don't really have notes for that. We just talk about, I may have a couple bullet items, but we talk about movies or games or culture. I I love Sasha. I mean, well, she's my wife, but I think she's really good host too, and she gives a different perspective. And that's a great show. It's a fun show. Sasha works out. In fact, she's working right now. So we got to kind of, we don't have that at a set time. We do that ad hoc, but keep an eye out for that. When I know we're going to do it, I'll put out an announcement so you guys can join. She's usually going to be at night, but who knows, when she's on, I think she's may have a few days off. Maybe we'll do it during the day sometime over the holidays. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. And of course, we'll have ad hoc streams that I do if there's a happening, right? Like if New York City should be bombed, then I'll set up a stream. But stuff like the State of the Union address, so I do those ad hoc streams. So I think the content changes a little bit good. It's always good to kind of change things up, add new stuff, and otherwise it becomes a little stale. And I always want to keep interested, because if I'm not interested, I don't think the audience will be. So I just do what I like. If otherwise I don't do it, because I just can't get excited about it. And I'm excited about these changes. And some of these I'm starting right away, but next week is Christmas week. So we're coming to the end of the year. And next week, just so you know, it's going to be a little bit different. I am going to do my roundtable on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. That'd be Christmas Eve. But some people, they don't have other people or whatever. So I'm going to be out there, just have a community. We get together and, we wish each other Merry Christmas. So that'd be Christmas Eve at 7 p.m. And, but on Christmas Day, we are not doing Happy Homelands that evening. I need to take that day off. And then also that Friday, Sasha and I have something planned. I'll be out and about, so I won't have any content on Friday. But starting then after that week, we will, get back onto the regular schedule. And I think it should be pretty fun. So just as a recap, the days we're going to do this, a couple of things. One, I'm consolidating platforms. I'm going to Substack, which is it's just such a nice professional tool compared to Gumroad. I should have got on there sooner. And Gumroad was frustrating me with their email glitches, and it's not fair to you guys. So going to Substack, and but that's not going to happen. I'm going to start updating it every day right now, so you can get on it right now. But I'm still going to add content to Gumroad and Group App. Hopefully Gumroad, the email function, will get fixed, but I'm going to keep updating it through January. Then 1st of February, I will keep Group App and Gumroad out there, because if you're just a person like I don't really care about extra content, I just like supporting you, RAMZPAUL, and I don't want to switch over. Well, fine, I'll just keep it out there, and I do appreciate that. But all my updates starting February 1st will be on Group App. And not Group App. What did I say? Group App. Substack. So if you're on Group App or Gumroad, I suggest head over to Substack. And there's a lot of great people on Substack. It was nice. You can give a Christmas present. I know K-Max gave me a present of a subscription to Ann Coulter. She's really got a great Substack. There's a lot of great people on Substack. So, check that out. So I'm excited about some of the changes. A couple other things is the show is the same way. We have super chats on YouTube. I really appreciate that today. And on Powerchats are also available, the link below. And on Rumble, we have rants, and I do appreciate supporting Rumble too. And then there's Stream Elements. So all that's not going away, and I do appreciate your support and questions, comments, and it makes this all possible. So thank you very much for this. And speaking of which, I already got a super chat. So thank you, Augustus Sunny 7.77. Lucky 7. How many chucks could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. That's a good question. It's like a tongue twister. So what's the other one? Peter Piper picked a pickles or something? I don't know them. But thank you for that. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate that. All right. Well, we did a little bit more administrative stuff. And I'm looking forward to the weekend, guys. And I will be back Monday at 11 a.m. for the Ramsey Paul show. But let's get into some of the news now. Unfortunately, this is a time of year that we tend to have these little incidents from the religion of peace. And what happened? There was an Islamic attack in Germany in a Christmas market. I don't know how many people were killed, but it just ran over a lot of innocent people. And as Elon Musk said here, and I agree with him, you can't hate the lying legacy media enough. And Wall Street Mav said, these evil cars in Germany are out of control. Why do these cars keep doing this, right? Because if you look at it, the media is the car drives into the Christmas market, vehicle plows, car drives. So it's like they're not trying to assign any responsibility to the driver. They're like, oh, it's just a mishap. And this is deliberate, right? If it had been, let's say you had a black parade that they're celebrating Black History Month, and a white guy drove a truck through the parade and killed a bunch of people. Do you really going to think they're going to put the headline, oh, there was a little mishap, a traffic accident? You remember that happened in, I think it was Wisconsin, that Daryl was his name. He was this black guy and he got mad and he drove through a Christmas parade, killed all those people. Horrific. That was a few years ago. And they referred to it as an accident. And this is deliberate. This is a way they try to mitigate the situation because they again, the media and the globalists, they're kind of in bed with each other. They want to push immigration, especially third world immigration into Europe and America. And if we didn't have this immigration, we wouldn't have these terrorist attacks because these people don't belong in Europe. But they come to Europe because they live in a shitty places with their shitty people and they create shitty countries. That's why. So they want to go to where there's white people and there's good countries and Christians. And how do they repay us? How do they thank us? By running over our children. And they don't, the media, they don't want to illustrate this because they think people say, well, wait a minute. Why do we have to bring all these people in? Well, how does this benefit us bringing people in? Where not all, but there's going to be percentage of these people hate us so much, they will literally run over our kids and just a happy Christmas parade. And I get it. If you don't like Christianity, you think we're infidels, well, get the fuck back to your country. You know, I'm sorry your country sucks, but if that's what your people make it as, I don't really care. Don't come to our country. You don't have a right to be around us. Access to white people is not a human right. It really isn't. And it's hilarious because they act like the media and all these groups that white people are the most evil people in the world, white supremacists. Well, why do they come to our countries then if we're so horrible? That's strange, isn't it? And then if we're like, oh, you have to go back to your own homeland with your own people, they're like, no, that's just too mean. Oh, I don't want to be around my people. It's just really crazy. And I haven't seen it yet, but a few years ago, remember this used to happen all the time with ISIS attacks? And then all the shit libs, oh, well, the real victims are going to be the Muslims. Oh, there's going to be a Muslim backlash. And again, they never do this when it comes to like white people. Like when Dylan Roof killed those black people in a church, the media said, oh no, the real victims are going to be white people because of the backlash. Not all white people are like this. Not all people that fly the Confederate flag are like this. Oh, the backlash, that's who we have to worry about. Let's get a bunch of Southerners with the Confederate flag. Let's hold hands and sing Imagine with them. No, it's just like, oh, white people are guilty. That was literally their argument. But when it's like this, an Islamic terrorist attack, their first priority is, oh, we got to worry about the feelings of Muslims, even though our kids are dead. No, that's this unfortunate vehicle sometimes crash. It's just so pathetic. And it happens over and over and over. And this is just the ones that are crazy enough to actually do this. How many more may not actually do terrorist attacks, but they hate our guts? I would say it's a high percentage. This is why multiculturalism doesn't work. They can have their own countries, and I'm for all people having their own countries, and I think we should leave them alone. In fact, I would have the Star Trek policy. Do you guys ever watch Star Trek? The prime directive: do not mess with their countries. Do not feed them. Do not send them technology. Just let them celebrate the way they want without white people to mess with them. Just let them go. And that should be our policy. And so if they want to do their Muslim things in Pakistan, whatever, if they want to do Allah Akbar beheadings, put women in cages, that's not my business. That's their country. They got to deal with it. I'm not here to lecture them. I don't think we should get involved with those countries, but we don't need them in our homelands. It doesn't help us at all. It doesn't make our standard of living higher. And you can say, oh, but where they live, it just so sucks. Oh, they're just so sad. I'm like, well, they just got to fix it then, right? It's not our responsibility to bring them up to our level because they don't bring us up. It just brings us down. So I'm really tired of this. And, it seemed like for a while we got out of these terrorist attacks, but it seems to be accelerating again, coming up again. And it's just not something that is sustainable long-term. And I'm tired of the excuses. We shouldn't have to tolerate this. And the other thing, I saw a report, the person that did this was from Saudi Arabia. He immigrated to Germany in like 2006, and he's a doctor, right? And this just sort of punctures the whole idea, well, we just got to keep out the bad ones, but we need their intelligent doctors and engineers. No, we don't. I mean, we did fine without them. We did really well without them. We don't need them. So it's just not like the low-class people that do this. It's people that have doctors, that have degrees that do this. And this shows, it's even a bigger scale. This is why I hate the typical CivNat. And you see this in the Republican Party, even with some with Trump. It's sort of like, they don't say it exactly, but they're basically, well, we don't want the other nations riffraff. We don't want their prisoners. We don't want their insane people, which I agree. But they're like, oh, but we want their smart people. I'm like, no, we don't. I don't. I mean, they need to help their countries. They need to be smart in their countries. We're fine. We don't need them. And it doesn't benefit us. Even if they're nice people, they're a different culture. I want to be around people like me. We have a right to have our own culture. Israel never apologizes for it. You think the ADL will ever apologize about Israel being Jewish? Hell no. Hell no. We shouldn't apologize about wanting Ireland to be for the Irish people. We shouldn't apologize for Germany should be for the German people. Just like they would never apologize Israel being for the Jewish people, right? Never. And so we got to uncuck ourselves. So the reason we want our homelands is not to protect ourselves from terrorist attacks. I mean, that's part of it. But this even shows this guy, it wasn't like, oh, he came from an insane asylum or some terrorist criminal we knew about. He was a doctor. And allegedly, if that's why I saw reported. So this just disproves that whole notion of we really need to fight immigration on the basis is we have a right to a homeland. And what does that mean? Do I mean like, oh, racial purity? No, of course not. America was never like racial purity, or I never have advocated for that because it doesn't even really make sense. Because nationalism is not about race, it's more about a subset of race. It's about nationality. I don't want to try to force Germans with Russians or anything like that. I mean, what comes into nationality, it will evolve over time, but it's things that bind you together. Even our founding fathers knew that, having a kindred blood and tongue and religion, basically, doesn't mean it has to be exact. And you can have a few that aren't really with the program, okay. But if you have diversity is not strength. Diversity always brings conflict. That's what it brings. And people that think, well, you're an infidel unless you're Islam, unless you're a Muslim, worthy of dying. And if I kill these people, I'm going to be awarded with a bunch of virgins or something. There's just no compatibility there. It just isn't this. And we don't have to apologize for it. We have a right to our own homeland. That's how it needs to be argued. Not like, oh, well, they could breed in disease. Well, maybe a few. Or they could smuggle fentanyl. Well, maybe a few. But that's not the primary reason. The primary reason is I want a homeland with people like me that share the same values, that think the same, that have basically the same soul, the same vision of how we look at the world, instead of a real alien vision. Not that the alien vision is wrong. It is. Jesus Christ is the answer. But they need to have that in their countries, not our countries. That's where it needs to be. And I think that really hits home, and that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that is it. And I'm gonna invite, just in case if anyone wants to join. This is Friday. It's just a little bit more casual if you want to call in and ask a question. And I won't even allow you to use your video. So it'll just be like a phone call. You can come in, make up a fake name, whatever. All right, let's see here. And if you have questions, there's super chats, Rumble has rants, and there's Powerchats. All right, Elon Musk says something here. Let's take a look at Elon Musk here. This created a big controversy because Elon Musk said AFD, only AFD can save Germany. And that created like 6 million tears from certain people. Because AFD, they believe Germany should be for the German people. Oh no, that's like Mustache Man. And these same people, he said, well, do you think Israel should be for the Jewish people? Oh yeah, God said so. Well, why can't the English have England, Ireland for the Irish? No, that's Hitlerism. That's Nazism. But so AFD, and they're not even that radical because Nazism's illegal in Germany. But they're at least they're at least show that they want to try to keep their country for their people. And so let's take a look at this lady here.
Basically, the mainstream media have declared Friedrich Merz the winner, completely disregarding the existence of the AfD.
Yep. What's happening in a lot of countries, and I got someone calling in here, Streaky Bacon, I'll get you online here soon once I do this segment. In a lot of these countries now, because to protect our democracy is if the wrong party, if the people vote for the wrong candidate, they're just like, nah, we're not going to do this. We're not going to recognize this election. You guys voted the wrong way. Election canceled. And that happened in Romania. A right-winger got elected. And in Romania, they said, nah, we're just not going to count it. And they're doing the same thing in Germany with AfD.
And Friedrich Merz, just like every other party, in fact, has already announced that he refuses to form a coalition with the AfD or even engage in any sort of discussion with them when it comes to political decision-making in the upcoming government. Furthermore,
it's so nice to see, by the way, a German look like a German.
Friedrich Merz intends to consider collaborating with the Green Party coward and economic imbecile Robert Habeck, and he wants to form a coalition with the Green Party, which would mean extending our eco-socialist national suicide.
So in these countries, it's a little different than America. They have more political parties and they have to form coalitions. So the so-called conservatives would rather side with the Greens that are destroying Germany because of the carbon tax and all that bullshit than to be in solidarity or help with the AfD. And I could totally see that in the United States. The Republicans would do the same thing.
How can I be so sure? Well, Friedrich Merz has already slammed Javier Milei and Elon Musk's Doge mission, implying that we will never see a reduction in our useless, hyper-bureaucratic overspending. And if you know anything about Germany, you probably know that we are the epitome, the meme nation of bureaucratic overspending.
Weder vorher noch nachher, noch zu irgendeinem anderen Zeitpunkt gibt es eine Zusammenarbeit meiner Fraktion mit Ihren Leuten, egal mit wie vielen Leuten Sie hier im nächsten Deutschen Bundestag sitzen werden.
because they've been so, Germany is basically controlled, and they've been so indoctrinated that the worst thing a German can do is stand up for the German people. That's the worst thing that you can do.
Christian Lindner forderte in der Talkshow von Karen Mioska, mehr Milei zu wagen, sich also den ultraliberalen argentinischen Präsidenten zum Vorbild zu nehmen. Über diesen Vergleich zeigte sich Friedrich Merz bei Sandra Maischberger schockiert.
Ich bin ehrlich gesagt völlig entsetzt gewesen.
I fight for freedom in all aspects of life. That is to say, one of the things that seems most interesting to me is that when the Berlin Wall fell, it's true that officially fell in the year 1989, but the reality is that the wall, or socialism, fell in the year 1961 when they had to build the wall. I mean, they built it because people were leaving communist Germany for capitalist Germany. They realized that those on the Western side were much better off. And of course, to prevent people from leaving. They put, what a wonderful system, right? So, I mean, they had to trap people. They couldn't let them go. I mean, these are such
Yeah, it was a prison. Whenever you can't allow people to go somewhere else, it's a prison.
wonderful ideas that they had to apply them at gunpoint. It's no coincidence that they killed 150 million human beings. So what happened then? The official fall of the wall in the year 1989 made it clear that socialism had failed.
Good comments there. All right, I got a Streaky Bacon. How you doing, Streaky Bacon?
Hey Rams.
Hey, what's your question?
Hey Rams. I was just saying, what out of all the US streamers, and I've been on like the national circuit for years, you have been, for me, the best US streamer.
Oh, well, thank you.
You've been, yeah, you obviously know Millennial Woes and Mark Corrett, yeah.
Good guys, yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard you for years. And I've watched you since Tina Veig and the times of Happy Homelands. And you've always spoke a lot of sense to me. And I'm in Britain. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm Welsh. And I know your grandmother was called Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, she had her last name of Jones, so she was Welsh. That's a Welsh name, right, Jones?
Yeah, it's a Welsh name, mate. You definitely, you go Welsh. You've got a really good and interesting DNA behind you. And so much of our history has been hidden by certain people. The Amish, let's call them. But I'm sure you're aware of the Smithsonian Museum, etc. But I just wanted to say how what you said a couple of years ago, it really touched me about how the memories you have when you're younger, the best memories you have of great times, they make you sadder when you're older. When you look back, as you look back on your life, and you're looking at the times, it's the best memories that sort of make you feel sad. You know, like weddings and the births of children. And as you get older, when you look back, it resonated with me. You've often spoke sense, and but what you said, I swear, I'm about the same age as you, mate. I'm a construction worker. I'm Welsh, but I live in England, and which I have done for years. But what you said, it resonated. It really did resonate with me. The memories you have when you were happier. As you get older, they're the ones that make you more heartbreaking. But I just want to say, I thought it's great when you got with Sasha, because like I remember you, Tina, and then you was with Styx and Sasha. And Happy Homelands, and I was thinking, who's this chick? Like, you know, and I thought, oh, I'm not gonna like this, but you know what, Rams, Sasha really came into her own, and she's I love listening to Sasha. She's just down to earth. Oh, what a nice chick, and I was just when you got married and you've done things, you've done things with like. Just sort of quietly, and you do your own thing, and you always ask. You sort of keep yourself to yourself, yet a public face. You handle things beautifully. I really enjoy your political views. I've only ever found out maybe once or twice if I disagreed with a couple of things, But after years of listening to you, that's nothing. Like, I just want to say thank you and respect, and I'm gonna send something to your postal address.
Well,
And,
thank you.
so,
That is so sweet, and thank you. And yeah,
yeah,
Sasha is she's really great. She's down to earth, and she gives a different perspective. Her family was a working class family, and I like that perspective. And she's not the I don't know. She just is her own person, and I really do appreciate that. And
you
yeah,
make a great Ramsey. You make a great couple. But I like how you do your shows with sarcasm. Yeah, you got a beautiful you have an understated sarcasm, and then when you speak about a certain group in America, and yeah, for years I've seen you. You obviously know Mark Collette. Is
yes,
from
yes, yeah. He's yeah. I know of him
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
I've met Mark Collette many times
yeah.
through Patriotic Alternative and different conferences and Millennial Woes.
Yeah,
Um,
I met Millennial Woes in Finland, and
yeah,
at the time he had a German girlfriend, and yeah, it was nice to meet him.
yeah. I met him at the PA conference also, and
Hmm.
so I've seen you around for years and how you appreciate Jared Taylor. And I won't take up any more of your time. Come the new year, I'm gonna send just a little something in the PO box, because like old time style, like through letters and everything. You
Yeah,
know.
that'd be great. Yeah, and people are saying it must be pretty late in England now.
Yeah. It's 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah,
and
well, thank
it's
you
my
for being up so late. Yeah,
it's been my last day of work. I work on a
all right.
construction site, so we
Yeah,
finished for Christmas, and I've been. To be honest, I've been up and I've had quite a few drinks, and I was just to see a live chat with you. You mean so much to me. Like how. I was finishing work on a building site last year. I worked for a year, and every time I'd come out, I'd finish work from 5 o'clock, and I'd have the headphones on, and I was on a bus full of how can I say, ethnically darker people,
diverse. Yeah, diverse
diverse
people. Yeah.
people, yeah. And I'm on a bus full of them, and I'm listening to you, Ramsey, man, for a year, for a
Well,
year,
that's
and I'm
great.
listening to you on the headphones from 5 o'clock till 5:45. It took 45 minutes on a bus journey, and I got Ramsey Paul, and I'm listening to you, and I got all these ethnics bouncing around the bus, creating mayhem. Like, so listen, man, I
All
love
right.
you. Give my
All
love to
right.
Sasha.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
hope
I
you have a
will.
happy Christmas, and thank you for
Merry
being such
Christmas.
a class act. Thank you,
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Bye bye. And I really see you guys can call. And some people, is that a pay shill? No, I didn't pay them. It's great to get compliments like that. I really do. Because there's a lot of people, I don't always get compliments. I get death threats. I really do. I won't go into them, but I do. So they're real. So it's nice to get compliments. And yeah, I'm hard on the English because that's my blood. That's my ancestry, Scottish, English, Welsh. And thank you for the nice call. And yeah, Sasha's really great. Definitely. And how Sasha and I act on camera is the same in real life. So I got a rant. Thomas Jefferson, what are your thoughts on blasphemy laws in America? Should they be implemented or not in the U.S.? America used to have blasphemy laws in the past. Well, we do have blasphemy laws now in the United States, but it's a little different than they used to be. And Europe still has blasphemy laws. Like you can't deny certain events that otherwise is blasphemous. You can't say certain words because that'd be considered blasphemy. Now you can say blasphemous things against Jesus Christ, and you can deny the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and you're not going to go to jail. But if you deny other religious groups' views, you could end up in jail in Europe. I'm not a real big fan of necessarily blasphemy laws. I still have a libertarian streak in me to a degree. Now that doesn't mean I believe we should allow pornography. I don't. But at the same time, I don't really mind. I want to keep the government as much as possible out of our lives, but I understand there needs to be barriers. And so, but, I don't want to, throw someone in jail because they say, God damn it. And, oh, what? You said the word damn, you go to jail. I don't want anything like that. So thank you, though. And guys, if you want to call in too, that was a great call. It's a lot of fun. And we're kind of a little bit more kickback on Friday nights. That's how I want to make the show. So it's okay. I know sometimes people go on a little long, but that's fun. I don't mind at all. And yeah, the AFD, I think they are key. Elon said they are key to save Germany, and I really agree with that. Now, speaking of blasphemy laws, this kind of fits into this. Let me just show you. And let me just show you this. This is the thing I saw from Elon Musk. And he's pretty aware of a lot of things. he may have to go back to Auschwitz and look at the shoes pretty soon. Wow, some politician in Germany went after 800 citizens just for posting memes. Yeah, sadly, most countries don't have free speech. Let's listen to this. This is the same lady.
A chancellor candidate who refuses to debate the opposition candidate Alice Weidel from the AfD is not a protector of democracy, he is a coward. Our eco-Marxist Vice-Chancellor Robert Habeck, who also happens to be the Federal Minister for the Economy and Climate Action, terrible combination by the way, really is too scared to debate Alice Weidel because she's from the AfD. I would say it's more likely that he's too scared to debate her because she is vastly intellectually superior to him and he has no economic background at all, whereas Alice Weidel does. And that's our Minister for the Economy. It's not looking great for Germany right now, which is why we desperately need a change with the new re-elections.
All right. Oh, I got another caller in here. And I got $20. What do you consider good music? Okay, I'll admit it. I like boomer music. Probably one of my favorite bands is Pink Floyd. And I also like ELO. And hey, Sasha, what do you consider good music? So, Augusta Sunny.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I have a cold, so I might not sound that great.
Boy, did you hear that last guy? He gave you a lot of love.
Yeah, he was real sweet. Like, I appreciate it because you get a lot of hate. And it's nice once in a while when somebody says they liked you. Because today was the last day of work for a while, and our work didn't do anything for us for Christmas. And so it's a little bit of a letdown, but
well, that guy, he's a kind of a worker too, like you, and
yeah,
I think
I always like those people. To me, those are people that make things go around.
I agree.
The people that like have jobs that they don't. Just
I've never liked this, snobbery against blue collar workers. I never understood that.
I don't either. Maybe because my dad was a blue collar worker and
my grandfather. A lot of our people, like my grandfather, was a railroad worker for years. And so,
well, I used to say that if there was like an emergency, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Like somebody like that can actually get things fixed, or somebody that works in the HR department. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
And my grandfather, even though he was you call him a blue-collar worker, but he was a very intelligent man. He wasn't a thug. He was a very brave man, but he wasn't.
Right.
I don't know. You don't see those guys much anymore. I really admire my grandfather. I miss that. Man, I really miss that generation. It's funny, that guy was talking about kind of nostalgia, thinking back. And it's interesting because the Greek in nostalgia literally means pain from an old wound. And that is kind of true, where you think back sometimes and it can be bittersweet. I don't know if you ever do that.
No, I do that. I was kind of doing that today, thinking back to like high school and not the bad parts, but the good parts.
Well, and this year's the first year without my father for Christmas. He passed away this January, so that's always tough when you lose someone. And
yeah, this Christmas has been kind of hard for me too. It just seems like, I don't know. My dad died last year, so this is my second Christmas without him. But then my aunt died in 2020, and I don't have anywhere to go on the holidays anymore, and it's kind of sad. And all the people that said, "Oh, you can come to our place," all these witches that said they're going to invite us like to Thanksgiving, and nobody did. And they say the same shit, like, "Oh, you can come to our families for Christmas," and then Christmas rolls around and they forget you even exist. So
Yeah,
I
did
don't
you hear
know.
about what were your thoughts about that terrorist attack? Did you hear about that? Some Muslim
I heard
crazy
about it.
in Germany. He
I
took a
didn't know a lot
truck.
of the details.
It
I
was
mean,
a
are you really surprised though? Doesn't this
no.
happen almost every Christmas now?
Yeah, they have
It seems
these
like this
nice.
is.
Yeah, they have these nice Christmas markets. I used to go to them in Budapest, and I think they probably have them here too. Where it's outdoors. It's kind of like Fayetteville, the square. You
Oh,
know.
we do have one here now.
Yeah.
Brandon told me about it. We were planning to go sometime, but we never went.
And so this immigrant, he came in Germany because he doesn't like his shithole, right? And so he decides to take a truck and just run over a bunch of people because you're all infidels. Fuck them.
They need to deport all these people. I don't know. It's almost like a lot of these European, and it's not their people; it's their government.
Right.
I like what's going on with Trudeau and all the people saying they hate him and screaming at him. It's like good. Like they need to get rid of him. They ruined
Well,
Canada.
he's got like a 80% negative rating now. It is pretty
That's
incredible.
worse than Joe Biden, I think.
Yeah. And let me just show you guys a clip because Sasha brought this up. I think Sasha, you saw this, but I'm going to show it to the audience here. This is Trudeau. He's really, really getting hated, and I'll talk a little bit why. But here he is.
Fucking scumbag! You're garbage! You're fucking scumbag! Time to die, you fucking Justin, where's my tax money? Where's my tax money? Fuck Trudeau! You fucking piece of shit! Fuck you! Fuck Trudeau! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck Trudeau!
That's amazing because Canadians are, Sasha, are such nice people for
They
them to
are.
get upset. And just so, guys, just kind of explain a little of the background. What's happening here is their dollar is like almost half. They're like under 70% of our dollar. And their amount of people, the inflation is a lot worse than the United States. They have super high taxes. They put that carbon tax on everyone, that stupid Green Deal stuff. People are starving in Canada. It's like 30% of people want to leave Canada now. The truckers that protested, Trudeau, they canceled their bank accounts. It's like a total tyranny up there. And people are really fed up. And it's funny how Trump was able to troll that guy by saying he was the governor of the 51st state. He is a piece of shit. And I feel sorry for the Canadian people. We have a lot
I do
of
too.
I have a lot of Canadian viewers, and actually we met some of our Canadian viewers. Some are very nice people.
Well,
And I
one of
feel
our
sorry.
Canadian friends lost their job recently, and then Brandon was telling me a lot of Canadians are losing their
Mhm.
jobs. So I don't think their economy's that good right now.
It's horrible in Canada, horrible.
Yeah.
And if Trump puts a tariff on them, man, they're going to be like cannibalism or something. I don't know
Well,
what.
and they
but-
imported all these Indians there too.
Oh
which
yeah,
seems
they
like a
got
mistake.
huge amount of Indians. They've pretty much tried to
We
eliminate
saw that
the
video of that guy that was all like, "You racist." He was at some like DMV type place,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what the story was. And the guy was nice to him, and then "You racist." It's like, fuck off. Maybe you shouldn't bring these people to your country.
I can't imagine, like when I lived in Hungary, I was so respectful to the country and the people, and I couldn't imagine you leave your shithole of a country and then you act that way.
I know, I couldn't imagine it either.
Yeah,
That's
so
these people. Yeah, stay in your shithole where people shit on the streets. Don't come
Yeah.
to Europe. Don't come to America. Don't come to Canada.
yeah, and again, some are good, but it's just I can't understand people that come here and then act like they hate white people or they hate our Christians or they hate our culture. It's like don't come here then.
Right. And I don't think they all do, but it seems
No.
like a lot of them do. I mean, sadly at work, the only person two people gave me something this year. And one of them was this really sweet old, like, Hispanic lady that I used to work with. Like, she's always, like, real sweet. But I think she doesn't hate white people, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of people that I think fit in well, but then there's a lot of people that are just, they have a chip on their shoulder. And it's like, why do you come to our countries then?
Well, I think
They
a lot of
come.
them, they're brainwashed the same way whites get brainwashed. They're brainwashed when they think, oh, Whitey took all this from you. And so they learn that crap at an early age, whereas the older people, maybe they didn't have as much of that kind of shit taught to them. Because, you know, everybody, no matter what your race, they're all susceptible to all that propaganda.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
definitely
part
think
of
so.
it. Because a lot of them understand that they did come from, like, crappy countries and they're just happy to be here. Whereas a lot of the younger people are just like, they think, you know, we took it all from them and they're brainwashed because that's what schools tell them. And I don't know. So
Go ahead. I was just going to say, did you hear, like, in Germany and in Romania, the wrong party won, so they just canceled the election.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And they try and do the same thing in Germany because the AFD is getting popular. And the AFD, they're not that radical. They just believe that Germany should be for the German people. Oh, that's hate.
So it should be.
But oh no, that's hate, and it's just really crazy. Like, oh, we got to save our democracy. The only way we can save our democracy is to shut down, you know, to cancel an election if you vote for the wrong people. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. So that first question was, what do you consider good music?
Yeah.
I mean, probably be good music. I mean, would be like classical music, but that's not the music I listen to. With me, it's like stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, you
and
like
some
the
of the
hair
90s,
metal and
some of
like,
the 70s.
yeah.
I don't know. I like kind of like the 70s through to the 2000s, I guess.
Right.
I stopped kind of listening to radio in like the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did like some stuff from the 2000s. Like I liked the White Stripes and I liked Velvet Revolver and some stuff here and there. But I didn't listen to radio much then.
Yeah, and I think that's something that binds the people together, even music, and everything's so fragmented now. Like Hispanics, they listen to their own music separate from us, and I don't think that's healthy for the country.
Well, when I was growing up, it was kind of like rock music
Mm-hmm.
is what everybody liked. And now I don't know, people like so many different things. And it's kind of funny, like when I went to see Korn, there were a lot of young people there. And the person we took was young. My friend, well, she's not even my friend, really. She's a liar. But her daughter, she's like 16. And it's kind of funny that she even likes Korn because she's, you know, so young. I think a lot of it's because the music's so shitty. I have a friend that's my age, and her daughter likes the stuff from the 90s, too. So I think it's because a lot of the stuff on the radio is different. I don't know. I don't even know what they play on the radio or whatever is popular, but it seems like a lot of these stupid girl singers that can't really sing. Like Britney Spears kind of started all that stuff, and it just got worse.
Yeah, it is interesting how a lot of young people like even the older rock now.
They do.
Yeah, because
a lot do.
Everything now is so corporate and sterile, and or rap, which is more, you know, black music. So,
well, black music used to be good back in the day.
Well, I know,
like pre-rap. I was listening to some playlist on YouTube earlier, and they played a song by Cameo, and it's like Cameo was a good band. That was a black band, but they weren't rap.
Well, there were even black musicians that were rock, like Jimi Hendrix, of course.
Yeah. And like Prince was awesome, and he was a good guitar player. Michael Jackson was great.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this thing, and it was kind of funny, and it said Gen X was the best, and we had the best Michael Jackson. It said the boomers had Michael Jackson when he was a kid, and they said that's fine and all, but is it really better than Thriller Michael Jackson? Like, we had Thriller Michael Jackson. They said the millennials had documentary Michael Jackson. It was like they got the worst Michael Jackson. And it's kind of true. He'd already kind of declined by then.
All right. I want to just show here a clip. You can stay on, Sasha, if you want.
All right. If you can hear me in the background, you just mute me because I'm working while I talk to you, and I don't want to.
All right.
I don't want you to be
as
here.
I show this clip here.
Okay,
so
just mute me.
I'll unmute you as we go. Yeah, I was happy to. Sasha, she's kind of winding up work until the end of the year here. So let's listen to this. This is from, I think, the AFD head.
Dear Elon, thank you so much for your note. The alternative for Germany, the AfD, is indeed the one and only alternative for our country. Our last option, if you ask me. I wish you and President Donald Trump all the best for the upcoming tenure. And also, I wish you and all the American people Merry Christmas.
Oh, they said Merry Christmas. This is hate. You gotta say Happy Holidays. What about the Jewish people? They don't celebrate Christmas. What about the Muslims? What is it, Ramadan? And what about the Kwanzaa? What about black people? They have Kwanzaa.
And a Happy New Year.
Yeah, we're bringing back Merry Christmas, bitch. So I'm glad she said that. I like the AFD. It's good they got some mainstream love from Elon Musk, and I think that is really good. So, and Sasha, whenever you want to pop in, just pop in. I'll have you unmuted. If I hear background noise, I'll just mute you, but you're fine now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, do you like AFD? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I was going to ask you, is it like their version of the Republicans or something?
Yeah, they're kind of like the Nationalist Party. Economically, they're not super conservative, and they're not really conservative like socially. It's not like they have anything against gays or anything. But their position is Germany should belong to like the German people.
Yeah, and they sound pretty cool because I don't really particularly like the Republicans either.
No, I don't really care about that. And okay, guys, we're gonna show you another story about immigration, and I'll just put you on mute, Sasha,
Okay.
as we view this story. And if you guys tuning in, Sasha's just joining us from work. She's wrapping up for the year, and so there could be a little background noise here.
Men with suspected ties to that violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua.
See, so like Germany has these violent Islamic terrorists. Why do they need to be on there? And why do we need Venezuelan gang members in our country? Do they enrich us? No. The ones that commit crimes, well, they're all illegal, so they've all committed a crime. They need to be deported. The rest need to be in prison, or if they do a lot of bad things, in the cemetery.
The bust was reportedly made possible after police tracked an ankle monitor from a 28-year-old Venezuelan national with 3 prior arrests.
So what if he has 3? Okay, and this is just so crazy on so many levels. Number one, he has 3 prior arrests. They can tell he's illegal. Get his fucking ass out of the country. He doesn't belong here. But then this guy, these aren't like criminal masterminds. He has an ankle bracelet on, and how they found out the gang's headquarters, it didn't really take like a Columbo to figure this out. He just walked right into the gang headquarters with an ankle bracelet on. Way to go, Pedro.
Well, see if they got him. CB Cotton's live in New York with more. CB, what's the story? Hello.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. A law enforcement source tells me officers raided 2 separate locations here in the city, leading to the arrest of 22 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members. The New York Post, as you said, reports that officers tracked one of the suspects' ankle monitors to this apartment in the Bronx,
What an idiot.
being used as a hideout.
So the guy with the ankle monitor went to their hideout. They're not singing their best.
The outlet reports some of the men had racked up multiple arrests in
All right, the multiple arrests, they should be in prison or out of the country. No, they all should be out of the country. They're illegal.
separate states after crossing the border. This bust comes after another raid in late November, which led to the arrest of these 2 confirmed Tren de Aragua gang members. ICE
Yeah, really pretty guys here.
telling me at the time, both of the men crossed illegally into the country last year and were wanted in Aurora, Colorado, when police say they and other armed men tried to break into an apartment as seen on this viral.
Yeah, what they were doing is they took over an apartment complex and wanted rent. They demanded rent from the tenants because they say, hey, amigo, We now control this apartment. You got to pay us or we'll put a bullet in your head. And these guys are illegal.
Video. This week, that same apartment complex made headlines again when a man and woman were pistol whipped and tortured there.
Yeah, I know. Did you guys see this? Literally just last week, the same gang, they kidnapped a woman. They pulled out her fingernails. They tortured her because I guess they want to pay up or whatever. I thought this was resolved a couple of months ago. All of these bastards should be in prison or deported or in the cemetery.
ICE tells me at least 16 suspected gang members were taken into custody in connection with that incident this week. And back in April, Fox was there as federal agents busted 3 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members at this Bronx apartment. New York City Mayor Eric Adams met with incoming border czar Tom Homan just last week.
Yeah, Tom Homan's not going to put up with this bullshit. He's not going to take any shit. And Eric Adams, give him credit for New York mayor. He's getting tired of this bullshit too.
And say they're ready to work together to remove illegal migrants who commit violent crimes. Homan has also said he does not understand why more leaders are not on board.
I'm shocked at other mayors and other governors who want to, put roadblocks up. I can't believe any elected official does not want to remove public safety threats from their communities.
Oh no, we want illegal immigrants from Venezuela pulling out little women's fingernails. Yeah, this is what we want for America. That enriches us. How would we ever have a taco if they're not here?
And as for these latest arrests here in the city, federal agencies tell us the investigation is ongoing.
All right, that's pretty shocking. Sasha, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, what do you think about that? Why in the hell are these people still in the country? Because this was months ago, this big news. And then they got arrested again because they tortured some woman in Aurora, Colorado. What's up with that?
Well, you just said what I was thinking. Why are they still here?
Because Biden.
I don't know. Why are they still here? Why do we have a military? Why do we have cops? I don't understand. It's like the cops will harass you if you don't stop and sit at a stop sign for 30 minutes. They'll fuck with you for that. But then when it comes to like real criminals, like, oh, we can't deal with that. Our hands are tied. Like, yeah, sorry if I just
Sasha
at this point don't.
In case people don't know, Sasha got pulled over, not because she ran a stop sign.
Well, I didn't even get pulled over. He didn't have his lights on. I was turning into my apartment complex. Yeah. He followed me in and like asked me a million questions. Do you live here? What are you doing? Which is none of his damn business. And Mosca was there because that's the day before we went to Ameren, and he came because he stayed the night so we could all get up and go in the morning. And even he was like, what the hell's going on? And I told the guys, like, I just got off work, and it was cold that night too. And I'm sitting out there shivering and shaking, and I'm like, can I go in? He goes, you kind of burned through that stop sign. And I said, I stopped. I said, I don't know why you're bothering me. And then he kind of left me alone. You live here? Yes, I've lived here 11 years. You know, he's just a jerk. He had nothing better to do.
But meanwhile, we have these people. I can't imagine why in the world would you want some illegals in that are pulling people's fingernails out and shaking down people for rent money?
Well, that's why I'm not a big fan of the police. They're just doing what they get paid to do, and they're probably told to stand down. Don't do that. The governor,
yeah, well, yeah, the politicians, yeah, he's that guy. These
politicians should all be in jail.
Yeah, they really are.
They're really worthless. Like, what do they do? Isn't their whole purpose to protect the people? And you're letting gangs pull out some little woman's fingernails? Like, what's up? And why did they do that? What was the reasoning for that? For pulling out some lady's fingernails?
Because they want to pay up. So it'd be like at your apartment complex, a bunch of illegal Venezuelans come in and say, hey, Sasha, you got to start paying us now. Otherwise, we're going to torture you.
Yeah, that should not fly anywhere, especially America.
Mm-hmm. And then,
hopefully their governor gets voted out.
Oh, yeah, Polis, he's a governor of Colorado.
Yeah.
He's,
jerk.
Homosexual.
Yeah, we know what he is.
With a certain ethnic group. Yeah, he is. And so it's
too bad the people in Colorado were dumb enough to vote for that guy.
Yeah, and did you see this? Let me just show you guys this. Just a second here, guys. This is these guys all just have to go back. I hope Trump sees this And here they are. Just a second here, and I'll put you on mute as I show this.
Okay.
África, Asia y Europa
This is a new caravan coming.
han cruzado por estas tierras y justo la
Look at
madrugada
that. Look at that. It's like a zombie invasion.
de este día, una nueva caravana migrante partió de Tapachula con
No, amigos. You go back. You go back.
al menos 1,500 migrantes. Condiciones
And see, it's just not like they just randomly all got together and decided to flood in like a fucking ant trail into our army. Soros, by the way, we should go RICO after his ass. We should declare them a terrorist organization. They are funding this invasion of the United States.
adversas a las que se suman en los últimos meses del año al efecto Donald Trump, el temor de las rigurosas políticas migratorias para inicios del 2025 están empujando apresuradamente a miles para cruzar por México con rumbo a Estados Unidos.
God. So, Sasha, there's a whole new horde trying to come in, caravan, before
Yeah, I
Trump
heard
gets
you said
in.
it looks like a zombie invasion.
Yeah, have you ever seen like a trail of ants that's coming along? You know, that's what it
Yeah.
is. So it looks like what you see at Walmart now.
I just hope
That's
Trump does something. I'm real skeptical. He's already walking back, though. We have to keep the dreamers or whatever. I'm just really.
Well,
hope
I
he
am
keeps his
too.
promises this time. I really do.
Because you notice the
'Cause-
rhetoric has changed and they go, oh, we want to deport the violent illegal immigrants. I'm like, what? No, we want to deport them all.
No, we voted for all, not just a few criminals. Well, they're all
Well, they're all-
criminals.
Yeah. But as Ann Coulter said, when Tom Homan tries to remove them, they'll put on sad faces and Rachel
They
Maddow
will.
will cry on TV. Yeah.
Well, I heard some of these people even saying, like, oh, women, get ready for it. I don't give a damn. Deport them all. Little kids. I don't like little kids. They're mostly brats. You go to the thrift store, they're crawling around on the floor screaming. Please take them too.
Yes.
We don't want them here.
We
They need
wanna
to go
keep-
away. I don't
we
want my
wanna-
taxpayers pay. I don't want my tax money paying for them.
No,
Like,
we need to
maybe
keep.
I'm
We
in the
need to.
minority as far as women. Get rid of them.
Yeah, I believe in keeping families together, and they deport them all together. That's what that needs to happen.
Well, so far from Trump's cabinet picks, he's my favorite.
Mhm.
At least as far as the rhetoric goes.
Oh,
That
he looks like
Homan guy
old school
seems pretty
tough guy.
badass.
Yeah,
he
does
doesn't
seem
care
badass.
either. It sounds
No.
like he's like, yeah, no, they can go too. Just the
Yeah.
fact he said that out loud. It wasn't like a Mike Pence type of guy that would, oh, let's just be the criminals. You know how some of these politicians are. This guy just kind of says it like it is. And I just really hope when the time comes, he really will deport these people.
Or the
hopefully they won't stop him.
I liked what he said with that Colorado, some stupid mayor or something in Colorado, Denver mayor. Oh, I'm going to protect these illegals. And Tom Homan said, well, that's illegal. I'll be happy to throw you in jail if that's what you want.
God, I
I would
hope
love to
so.
see that.
Please
That would be great.
let them do that. Please.
Federal
Let the
crime. Put 'em on-
Christmas wish. My Christmas season would turn around if all that happened.
Yeah. It'd be neat
But
if they
we'll
had like
see.
an app. If you thought you saw illegals, you could just go, and then you get a bounty. If you turn them in, they just pull them out.
Man, we could
So-
go to that Grapevine Mall in Texas and make tons of money. There was like so many people there. You could be like, hey, I think these might be illegals.
Yeah,
And,
we
make a
need
lot
to
of
do that.
money.
We'd make a tons of money. Just ship them all out. That'd be great. But
We
see, they
could.
think
Does it
that's
have-
cruel.
Do they have
There's
to just
nothing.
be from?
Well, they say there's nothing more cruel than going back to their own people. Oh, we don't want to be around our own people.
No, they're here for the jobs and the our goodies. They don't really care
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
about being American.
No,
That's something the stupid, even Republicans act like some of them just really love America. Do they though?
No.
If they do, why do they have flags of their home countries up on the walls?
I know they're always waving their Mexican flag or whatever. Yeah, Then
I
go
think
back
it was
there.
Ann Coulter actually in her book talked about that. Like how they'll go to the soccer games and they'll be cheering for the Mexican side.
Yeah,
It sort of
yeah,
seems like if
definitely.
you're really into America, wouldn't you be cheering for the Americans? Why would you be cheering for Mexico? That
Well,
doesn't
because-
make any sense.
Because nationality is blood. It's not a
Except
it's not-
America, where it's turned into, oh, everyone's welcome.
Right.
But
right.
the founders or people like my ancestors actually did build the country from nothing. Because you always hear this too, oh, these people that came in the 20s. No, the country is already built. They came here to work. People that had to actually build the infrastructure. and fight off all the Indians and stuff. Those were the people that built the country.
Yeah, and we just recently traced your ancestry back to the revolution, and mine too. I'm back there. So we've been here. We're not newcomers. We're not immigrants. Our family were pioneers that built this country.
They were. Well, I'm reading this book about Sarah Polk, and even like in the 1800s, you read about the things they had, like cholera was still a thing here. And I guess that's what President Polk died from, was cholera. But I mean, we had to deal with a lot of this stuff when America was kind of first starting out.
Yeah.
And these people already came and everything was pretty much good when they got here.
Yeah.
They didn't
that's
have
why
to
they
do
came,
like
yeah.
you read the Little House on the Prairie books where they come and they have to build wells and dig ditches and do all this stuff. These people didn't really have to do that, the ones that came later. It's like, yeah, you probably had to work in some crummy factory, but that's not quite the same as like the stuff our ancestors had to do.
Yeah, spot on.
It is there is a difference in pioneers versus like immigrants.
100%. The other story I wanted to do is there was the government spending bill, and I've talked about this little comedy goes on every year, but the spending bill was 1,547 pages, and they had stuff in there like they increased the pay like 47% for members of Congress. They make $174,000 a year, and this would automatically increase them to $243,000 per year. This would pay for a new football stadium in District of Columbia. So we here in Texas would be paying for a new football stadium in District of Columbia. There's 72 pages of pandemic preparedness and response policy. And then we're going to fund this thing called the Global Engagement Center. These are assholes that try to censor Americans. And Elon Musk pointed this out and created a lot of screaming and stuff. This is ridiculous.
Well, why do they make that much money? I'm sorry, most Americans don't even make that much money.
I know. It's just,
like you have to be almost around in Arkansas to make that kind of 100. You said they were getting how much? 200-something thousand a year.
They make 174,000 now, and they want a
it's
pay
going
increase to 243,000 a year.
Why? I wish I made that. Like, why should they make that? I mean, they should make maybe a decent little bit, but that seems like a lot.
Yeah.
How much does the president make? Like 400,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that's a little bit more stressful than being a congressperson.
Although to be fair, Trump again, he said he's not going to take the salary. So
that's cool.
But he doesn't need it because he's
no, he doesn't need it. Well,
so
and then I was listening to Megyn Kelly's show tonight. She had Steve Bannon on, and they were talking about the spending. And she said, well, they don't want to touch the entitlements like Social Security. And I like Megan, but it's kind of like, bitch, we pay into that.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, fine, then pay us all a big check and figure it out. But it's not fair to those of us who've been paying in 30 years to then say, like, oh, you can't have something you've been paying in for. But then they never say shit about cutting the military. Steve Bannon actually did. I was surprised. He said, we have to cut the military because they waste a lot of money.
And by the way, Social Security doesn't have an issue if it wasn't they looted it. It had a surplus, and these fuckers that are going to get $250,000 a year, they looted it. And what it was supposed to be, you put your money in through your whole life, and you get it out at the end. And when people, if they should die early, or they don't get all their money back. So it's a really good scheme for the government, and they want to steal it now from us. It's just crazy.
Well, and the people that don't deserve it are these people, and I've known people like this. They get on it when they're like in their 30s for some bullshit reason.
PTSD.
Like I had a friend, he got on it for depression. And I even said, why don't you get on pills for that? Oh, they don't really work. And it's like, yeah, right. He just didn't want to work anymore. And then he got food stamps and everything else. Perfectly healthy guy. And it's like, there's no reason you shouldn't have a job. Nobody wants to work. Like, I mean, I don't want to be up here cleaning up after people, but I like getting money. Yeah. And that's kind of the way the world works. But it's not fair to make everybody else pay for you. But Social Security is not meant for that. It's supposed to be meant for when you're old. And then they keep raising it too, like, oh, now it's going to be like 70 till you can get it. Most people don't even live that long anymore. They said like life expectancy in the States has gone down.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like Mosca's dad, he died before he got it, and he paid in for years. He had his own business. My uncle, same thing. He got one Social Security check because he had cancer, and they gave him one check, and then he died. And so, how much did he not get? And that's most people. Most people don't get it, you know.
No,
So,
100%. Yeah,
but then her to say it's an entitlement, it's like, no, we're forced to pay in.
Yeah, we
You
don't
don't
have
have
a
an
choice.
option, as far as I know. Like in my
No, you
check
don't.
that I just got a check today, and they took quite a bit out for taxes and Social Security, and I could just put that money in retirement and probably get more out of it.
But you don't have that option.
Right. And I know George Bush, that was one thing he did try to do that I thought was a good idea. He wanted to kind of do that where you could just opt out of it, but so many people are irresponsible, I guess, that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
and
I understand the original reason is because some people want to save, and I get it, but that's your money. It's not the government's money. It's like forced savings. And the idea that they want to cut it is like they're breaking the contract with you. And
They are.
it just pisses me off. And
Well, and then that's the thing the right wing always talks about, except Trump, who is not even really right wing, but that's something he'll talk about. He doesn't talk about cutting it, but like a lot of these people always bring that up, like Megan did right off the bat. And it's like, yeah, because you've got like 3 homes that we know of. Like on your show, you've mentioned 3 different houses you have. You're like super rich. So if you lost yours, no big deal.
Right.
But a lot of people, that's kind of how they live.
Right.
And so things happen. People get sick. I mean, our country doesn't really want to take care of people, even though I hear, oh, America's real generous, to some degree, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. And let me just play another clip here. I'll put Sash on. Now, what happened with this budget deal? It did get passed. So let's take a look.
Elon Musk and I talked to.
Well, they did they basically like a continuing resolution interim.
Was in constant contact with President Trump throughout this process. Spoke with him most recently about 45 minutes ago. He knew exactly what we were doing and why, and this is a good outcome for the country. I think he certainly is happy about this outcome as well. Elon Musk and I talked within about an hour ago. And we talked about the extraordinary challenges of this job. And I said, hey, you want to be Speaker of the House? I don't know. He said, this may be the hardest job in the world. I think it is. But we're going to get through this. We are going to unify this country, and we are going to bring the America First agenda to the people beginning in January. We cannot wait to get started. I hope you all have a great holiday.
So what they did, Sasha, is they punted it. They just kind of put it off so they could go home for Christmas and stuff. And it is. Let me just show you that the resolution that passed is a lot better. Let me show you all the guys here.
Did AOC lose her seat?
No, she was going.
I heard she did.
Really? Because no, I don't. There was an election. She was going for a leadership position, and she didn't win it.
Good. I hope
Here's
she loses her seat eventually.
Yeah, this is the third spending bill has passed. This bill was 118 pages down from 1,500 pages. So this was the original bill. Look at that, how thick that is, Sash. I don't know if you can see it, but it's huge. And now it's just a little thing. So that's good news, but it's just temporary. I did an essay explaining the whole problem with this whole process is the congressmen, they never read the bill. It's too big. They don't even know. Lobbyists, they put all their shit they want into it with the congressional staff, and they just vote for it. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know I was getting a 47% pay increase. Not my fault. And then if they try to shut the government down, they pull out, oh, black babies are going to starve. You're racist. That's always what they do. And the Republicans always give in. It's the same old bullshit every year.
It is the same every year.
Yeah. So it's, and then here's the thing here. Elon Musk has come under a lot of criticism. And I'll just, let me just show you guys this here. Okay, this is Representative Rosa DeLauro. Boy, she's a weird looking thing, by the way.
Oh, is that
bizarre.
purple-haired freak?
Yeah, she's
The old
really
lady.
old. Is she a woman or trans? I'm not sure.
I don't know. They said she's 81. I think it's a woman.
Why would an 81-year-old woman have purple hair?
I don't know.
We are on the cusp of an agreement to move this country forward. But 2 days ago, a multi-billionaire with apparently no working knowledge of our government or of appropriations.
This is so hilarious because they're fine with Soros, who's not even an American, interfering with our country.
Someone who is a self-appointed president of the United States, Elon Musk, issued a marching order for House Republicans to go against their own elected leadership.
Well, what Elon Musk did, Sasha, is, and I like him, he said that if you're going to vote because I'm serious, President Trump has appointed me and Vivek to try to eliminate waste. And we're not going to fund all this bullshit in this bill. And if you Republicans fund this, I'm going to use my money, let's say like Tom Cotton or Steve Womack. Oh, it actually would be the Congress, not Senate, but Steve Womack, let's say in Arkansas. And I'm not saying he voted for this, but I will use my money to fund to primary you, because always a Republican will win in this district we live in. So that's got the Republicans scared now. I think that's a good thing.
Shut down the government. Shut down the government. House Republicans are responsible for any harm and uncertainty brought upon the American people.
This is where they bring up the poor black babies that will starve or some bullshit.
And should some get their wish for a month-long government shutdown, they will be responsible for cleaning up their mess come Inauguration Day. Indeed, we are in completely unprecedented times when someone who has no knowledge of government.
Put her on mute here. There we go. Sorry, guys. Let me go back to this here.
Who has no knowledge of an appropriations process, who is external to the House of Representatives, can make his weight felt here in turning what was a bill that was on its way, a bipartisan bill, a bicameral bill, was on its way to achieving its goal of keeping the U.S. government open. And the goal, actually, is providing services to American citizens, to working families.
Yeah, working families, giving themselves a 47% raise, funding a censorship organization, paying a billionaire, giving them a free stadium in Washington, D.C. Yeah, fuck you.
Middle-class families, vulnerable families are...
This is where they pull out the poor black babies are going to starve line.
Where our responsibility lies. The world's richest man, reaping billions in government contracts, is calling the shots in the Republican Party. At the behest of the world's richest man, who no one voted for, the United States Congress has been thrown into pandemonium. It leads you to the question of who is in charge. I thought that there was a Republican majority in this body, not a President Musk majority. We are on.
So what they're doing here, let me bring Sasha back on. Sasha, what they're doing here is a transparent ploy, and Elon Musk brought this out. They're trying to get Trump's ego that, oh, Trump's not really going to be in charge. It's going to be Elon Musk that's in charge. And they know that Trump is, he's susceptible to that sort of bullshit.
Yeah, trying to pit them against each other.
Yeah, that's the goal. And Elon Musk said, yeah, I know that's the goal. And so, they all
Trump's
had their...
not dumb enough to fall for it.
No, they all had their marching orders. You know how they all get the same thing to say, and they all have their marching orders to
Sharp
say
as a tack or whatever.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that too.
I I should probably go because I've got to clean some areas that the
all right. Well,
reception's
thanks
already
for
kind of
joining,
buggy.
Sasha. Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
See you
I'll talk to you
tomorrow.
later. Bye. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Sasha, for joining. That was a lot of fun. I didn't make here here. All right. So yeah, Sasha, thank you for joining. And if you guys want to join the stream and talk, I'm happy to. Let me put the link in. And again, you don't have to show your face. In fact, we won't use video. Just call in if you want. So let's take a look here. And some more about this bill.
So weird. Joining us now with more, incoming White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Caroline, I'm so thrilled to have you with me. And you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But
well, here's the thing, guys. And if I had the RAMZPAUL kingdom, the part of democracy I would have, the Senate wouldn't be a democracy. I won't get into my whole system of government, but you would have districts that you would vote for your representative, and it would be illegal to give any campaign money to anyone. Because you wouldn't need campaign money. Your campaign would be just to address the voters, like in a town hall, put out your positions. That's that. So there'd be no money coming in. But we do have this system where politicians are basically bribed by big organizations and individuals like Soros. And so if that's the way the game's played, I don't mind someone like Elon Musk being on our side. And the left is like, they have their billionaires, they have their people that fund, and to push in a direction. We need the same thing.
they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
It is. You know, I wanted to start with that crazy absurdity because during my tenure as White House press secretary, there was a lot of absurdities coming from the press. I remember one briefing where Ryan Lizza bizarrely asked me if Trump was happy that the South lost the Civil War, to which, like, you could see me, I stopped, I looked at him and said, that is absurd. I mean, you'll
I'm not happy.
Deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years. And we are...
It's going to be nice, just from a visual point of view, to have her as the press secretary versus that African from Canada, or I don't know who's lesbian. It's going to be nice to have her as press secretary.
Are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump.
So I think the Trump will be good. So I'm happy with her. And boy, it's been just action packed here, guys. Thank you so much for being here on the show here. And I have some other stuff I want to get through though. I want to get through here. This is a thing that really pisses me off because I knew from day one that Biden was senile. But if you brought that up, that's a right-wing conspiracy theorist, right? Now look at this. Ex-CNN pundit apologizes for ignoring Biden's mental decline. I should have pushed harder. I took a lot of shit when I said this. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And it's just not him. The whole dam is broke. That, like, yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not really running things. Here's some more. So it just really cracks me up. Shock report blows White House health cover-up wide open. Biden was senile from day one of his presidency. Top Democrats finally admit. So now it's all coming out. Yeah, he was senile. No, he really wasn't the president. He was a vegetable. They had his staff running things. It's just a crazy. Biden's going to go down as the worst president in history because he didn't even know what was going on. At this point, why not just put a chimpanzee in or something? It does, because he was just for show. He really didn't do anything. And again, this isn't Alex Jones or right-wing conspiracy theory. Take a look at this. Take a look at this right here. Breaking, the White House hid Biden's decline per Wall Street Journal. They're not a right-wing organization. By giving control access, scripting most moments, and placing senior advisors in roles Biden would have otherwise occupied. Yeah, and we saw that Biden couldn't do a press conference unless they gave the questions beforehand and they told Biden what to say. Trump, he's just out there. He's fighting with the press. Biden couldn't do that. Biden didn't know what the hell he's talking about. Biden, they had a Tard wrangle when he was with all the leaders of Europe and he started to wander off. I think the prime minister of Italy's like, get back over here, Mr. President. You're wandering off. And Biden's like, oh, that's a pretty parachuter. And it was just an embarrassment. So all this that was a conspiracy theory, we are seeing now that it wasn't fake. It was a definitely a real thing. And it is sad that we had to put up with that. It is sad that we had to put up with that. All right, let's see here. Wow, the time has gone quick. And if you guys are just joining, thank you. I announced at the beginning of the show a couple things. One, if you guys support me offline, and I really appreciate this, and we do special roundtables every week, member-only videos and articles. I will consolidate that all. I'm in the process to Substack. I have a link below to go to it. It's not going to be immediate, but I'm going to move off Gumroad and Group App and just be on Substack. It's more robust technically. Gumroad had issues with emails. I just want a centralized location. If you guys support me there, God bless you. I really do appreciate it. And then I've changed the schedule a little bit. I'm going to be doing my show next Monday. I'm going to be doing a show like this, but at 11 a.m. That will, different audience. Some people in Europe want to be able to see me. I had a guy in Europe in Wales. He just called in tonight, but it's 2:30 a.m. So I want to do a show earlier for people their evening. So Mondays mornings, I'm going to do the Ramsey Paul show. And Friday evenings like this, we'll do a recap of the week. Just have a lot of fun and talk about it. Wednesday, I'm super excited about. I've resurrected Happy Homelands. I have a blast with that. That was my first live stream. So I'm doing that with Alicia. She's getting a new mic. She's new to this. And let's just give her a lot of love coming up on Wednesday. And I do videos on Tuesday and Thursdays. I do columns every day, essays. Check that out. Follow my Substack. Most of my Substack stuff, like my essays, are free, so might as well follow that. The link's below. And Night Owls will do when Sasha's able to do it. It's probably one of my favorite shows. Sasha and I get along pretty well, and we kind of riff off each other about culture, movies, whatever. So those are some of the upcoming changes. We're going to start implementing basically in January. Although next Tuesday, Christmas Eve, I am doing a roundtable because some people, they don't have anyone. I want to have a community with everyone. So my Christmas Eve, we're going to spend an hour and get together. And I'll post it on Gumroad Group App, but also Substack. So again, if you're on Gumroad, there's no hurry. It's going to be another month. I'm still update on Gumroad and Group App. But then eventually, February 1st, I'll keep Gumroad and Group App out there, so it's not going away, but I'm going to put my focus on Substack. So that's what's coming up there. I appreciate that. All right. I always like to end with some good dog videos because I like dogs. This was cute. The dogs are so intelligent, and they're Button. In fact, after the show, I got a letter out to go to the restroom, and she's a good dog. We're going to walk every day. Here's dogs. Dogs reacting to their names being called. I love how dogs smile. Aw, they know their name.
Tucker! Tucker!
Aw. Yeah, dogs are great. Let's see here. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. And just to remind you, next week's kind of Christmas week, so the schedule is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a show next Monday, so that's going to happen. On Tuesday, I'm going to put out a video. Check those out. I'm doing more historical videos, a lot of fun. Wednesday, Tuesday night, if you're a Gumroad group app or Substack member, and if you're just starting out, just get on Substack because that's where I'm going to focus on. We're going to do a roundtable, Christmas Eve roundtable. Some people don't have family, and I just want to be there for them. So we're going to do that Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I'm not going to do any content, so no Happy Homelands. But we are doing Happy Homelands on January 1st. I talked to Alicia. She's down for it. And I'm excited to get back with doing that. And then Thursday, I'll be putting out a video. And Friday, we're going to be doing, Sasha and I, we have another thing we're going to be doing, kind of the end of the year type of thing. And then once we get into January, we'll be back on the normal schedule. So guys, and thank you, the guy from Wales that called in. God bless you. Hopefully more people will call in here as the show continues. Don't be shy. And thank you for your support. I don't have a billionaire supporting me, and I appreciate your support. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend and Merry Christmas. God bless.